What's up, everyone? Charlie here again. I'm going to show you how you can make view classes within Discord. Now, we're going to be using the DisSnake library, basically the same as Discord. You just replace Discord with DisSnake if you're using Discord, but I like to use DisSnake. I just like it better than Discord. Anyways, let's go ahead and show you how to make a view class. So you're going to want to make sure you have your bot file set up correctly. This is the general skeleton right here. I've imported my token from my configuration file, and I'm ready to go. Now, you can ignore this line here because I made a class for my bot. So I've imported that class to this file. But if you don't have a class for your bot, you can ignore this line. And if you don't have any cogs, you can ignore this line right here. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to say class my view dissnake.ui.view gets passed in. We initialize with def init self. And then to super init, we do super init timeout equals none. Now, this is a view class. It holds a 5x5 grid of items maximum. So each button takes up one of those spaces. A drop-down menu takes up 5 of those spaces, or one row. So you can have 5 drop-downs per view, or 25 buttons per view, or a mix of the two, just so long you don't break that grid of 5x5. So to make a button, we do at dissnake.ui.button, all lowercase. We pass in style as dissnake.buttonStyle with capital B, capital S. And then we have red, green, gray, and blurple to choose from. We're going to use blurple in this example. And then we're going to pass in an emoji, which is going to be an animated emoji from our Discord server. I'm going to use the burning earnings calendar here. And if you're going to use an animated emoji, you just got to make sure it's formatted right. You can just paste normal emojis in. I'm going to use an animated one because I think they look a little cooler. So we have an emoji, we have a color. Now we have to define the button as async def button 1, self button, and then interaction dissnake.application command. Interaction is dissnake.app. Application command interaction. Why is that not working? Oh, whoops. Async as def. No, just async def button 1. So we've defined our button now, and now all we have to do here is say await interaction .response .edit message view equals self. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say self.button1.disabled equals true. So basically what's going to happen when we click this button, it's going to disable it, and it's going to send us a message that says you clicked a button. And then it's going to send us the view. So let's go ahead and refresh the bot. We have to make a command first. So in order to start this view, make a simple command, .appbot command, async def start, and then we just pass in context, and then we just do await context.send view equals my view. And now we can refresh the bot, and I can demonstrate how this works. So now we just type in start, just like this, and there's our button. Now when we click it, it says you click the button, and the button is now disabled. Let's go back to our file now, and let's add in a drop-down menu. So we're going to make a separate class for this. We're going to call it class my dropdown, and we're going to do dissnake.ui.select, and then we're going to initialize it, just like we did with the view, and then we're going to super init, and we're going to pass in the arguments, which are placeholder is a placeholder, which is the starting message you see when the dropdown is added. We're going to do min values is 1, minimum amount of values that can be selected, and the max values is going to be 1, which is the maximum amount of values selected. Then we're going to do options, which is going to be the options in the dropdown menu. We're just going to make one for this example, dissnake.select option. And then within this, we pass in label equals option 1. It can take an emoji as well, so let's put the same emoji in right here. And then we're going to do a description, which is this is option 1 of this menu. Now, if I wanted to make multiple options, I would just put a comma at the end of this, and I would just copy and paste it, and then I would have 2 options instead of 1. So let's do option 2 instead of 1, and then this is option 2 of this command. Let me space this out a little bit. And then if you wanted to make the view class persistent, as in it will stay active between bot starts, you would add in a custom ID argument. We would just name it, oh, I'm sorry, not there. You put the custom ID here below max values. Custom ID equals drop down example. Okay, so we have our drop down ready, and then what we can do here is we can define a callback, as in what happens when these options are selected. So async def callback, self interaction. This is dissnake.message command interaction. And then what we can do here, if self.values with the 0 equals, we're going to do the label, which is option 1, await interaction.response.edit message view equals my view. And then we're going to do view or my view dot add item my dropdown. So basically what's going to happen is whenever we click this button here, it's going to disable it, and it's going to send us a message that says you clicked the button. Now we're going to add in this functionality, self.add item my dropdown. So now it's going to disable the button, it's going to send us a message, and it's also going to add the new dropdown that we just made. And then when we select the dropdown, what it's going to do is if we select option 1, it's going to, we're going to switch views. So whenever option 1 is selected, we're going to say self.remove my view.remove item self. And then it's going to basically take us back to the beginning of this loop. So let's see if this works. Start. Okay, so there's our button with the burning flames, and we have our placeholder. Someone else in the group just clicked the button for us. Now we have a placeholder. We have option 1 and option 2. Let's select option 1. Nothing happened. Let's see what the problem is. Oh, I put option 1 without a space. You got to have it exact. So option 1 without a space. Let's do option 2 also. So let's give option 2 a if statement. So if self.values equals option 2, then we're going to do await interaction.response.edit message view equals my view dot button 1 dot disabled equals true. Or I think if it's inside of a function, you have to just put my view button 1 dot disabled. So now what it's going to do is if we select option 1, it's going to take us back to view 1. If we select option 2, it's going to take us back to view 2 or view 1 with the button disabled. Let's try again. Start. There's the button. Let's see if anyone else clicks it. We'll click it. Okay, there's our placeholder. And it took us back to the beginning. And you see it did all that without creating any new messages. So I click the button, click the placeholder, and it takes us back. Click the button, click the placeholder, and it takes us back. So that's just a brief example of what you can do with drop-down menus and placeholders or buttons. Now, if we select option 2, nothing happened. What happened? Oh, whoops. Oh, so you can't actually do the disabled in there. You'd have to do it outside of this. So we would have to do my view dot button 1 dot disabled equals true, and we'll refresh this. Let's do it again. Click the button, select option 2, and it goes back without our placeholder. Placeholder, option 2. Pretty cool stuff. That's just a brief example. Oh, you know what? We have to actually put self here. And then we do self.view equals my view dot view, just like that. Now it should show the button disabled when we do it. Click the button, drop down, option 2, and it's still giving me trouble. Let's do view equals my view dot button one dot disabled, and then we just do view equals view. Let's do that. Still no. Let's do this. View dot button one dot disabled equals true. Oh, you know what? We can't pass in a view here, I don't think, because it's a drop down menu. Let's do view equal, yeah, okay. Let's try this. There we go. Works like a charm. So now we can't do anything. So that's basically an example of how you can create a drop down menu to allow for a loop or a breaking of that loop. Woolsworth. Funny guy. Anyways, hope you found this helpful. More stuff to come.